Most people really struggle with time management, and it's almost always because they're missing a system. They feel busy, right? Running around all day. But when they finally sit down, they realize they haven't made any real progress on what actually matters. What if the secret isn't about cramming more into your day, but about completely changing how you think and act? Well, that is exactly the revolution we're diving into today. Welcome to Daily Book Insight. So, today we are pulling apart the core principles from author and corporate trainer Marc Reklau. And look, the promise here is a big one: to achieve way more by doing way less. It all starts not with some new app or fancy planner, but with a series of really powerful mental shifts and habits you can start building immediately. The foundation for all this, it comes from Reklaw's international bestseller, 30 Days. You see, his whole argument is that real, lasting change comes from small, consistent steps, not these massive burnout-in-a-week overhauls. We're going to walk through the most important steps from his work right now. So where do we even begin? Not with a to-do list, surprisingly. We start with our own mindset. See, before you can manage your time, you have to get a handle on your mind. This entire framework kicks off with a kind of radical idea that you are in complete control. And this gets right to the heart of the problem. Reklau points out that so many of us, without even realizing it, operate from what he calls a victim mindset. We tell ourselves these stories, right? Like, oh, I can't get that project done because my boss keeps interrupting me, or I just don't have enough time because of traffic. These stories, they feel true, but all they do is keep us feeling stuck and completely powerless. So this forces us to get really honest and ask a tough question. When you look at your schedule, your goals, where you are right now, who's actually in the driver's seat? Is it your boss, your circumstances, or is it you? And there it is. The answer is you. The absolute first, non-negotiable step in this entire revolution is to take 100% responsibility. Not 99%, but all of it. This means you stop blaming external factors and you start looking at the only things you can actually control: your actions, your thoughts, and your feelings. It's about shifting from a game of blame to one of total ownership. So, okay, how do we actually do that? Well, Reklau gives us a pretty clear roadmap. First, stop blaming. Second, stop complaining. It is totally unproductive and just keeps you stuck in a negative loop. Third, stop putting off your goals. And the most important one, take action. Because consistent daily action is the ultimate antidote to feeling like you're stuck in the mud. All right, so once you've taken that power back, this next part it's really counterintuitive. We're all taught to think that success will finally make us happy. Reklau just flips that script completely. He argues that happiness isn't the reward for productivity, it's the fuel. Okay, I want you to really look at this number, 37%. This is a total game changer. This isn't about working late or getting a new piece of software. This is the productivity boost you get from one single shift. Research shows that our brains, when they're in a positive state, are just flat out more effective. I mean, just imagine getting a 37% boost in your output, not from a tool, but from changing your emotional state. It's incredible. And as Reklau says, this isn't just some nice, fluffy idea. It's backed by science. When you're happy, you're more creative, you're a better problem solver, you bounce back from setbacks faster. So what this really means is that cultivating happiness isn't some luxury you get after you're successful. No, it's a prerequisite for being successful. So the big question is, how do we get happier on command? Well, Reklau introduces this fantastic concept. You have to become a benefit finder. Instead of being a fault finder, that person who sees the problem in everything, a benefit finder actively trains their brain to look for the upside, the lesson, or the opportunity in every single situation. It's a conscious choice you make over and over again. And the how is surprisingly simple, really. These aren't huge, time-consuming things. Practicing daily gratitude, just taking 60 seconds to write down 3 things you're grateful for and actually feeling it, that literally rewires your brain. Celebrating your small wins builds momentum. These simple little habits, they're the gears of your happiness engine. Okay, so we've reset our mindset, we've fired up our happiness engine. Now it's time to get into the practical, high-impact tools that separate the people who are truly productive from those who are just busy. This comparison is just so important. Look at that left column. That's what most of our work cultures reward, right? But as Reklau points out, it's a total trap. Multitasking is a myth. Your brain literally cannot do two complex things at once. It's just switching back and forth really, really fast, which burns through your mental energy and causes more mistakes. The productive person, on the other hand, works smarter. They focus intensely on one thing at a time and are ruthless about turning off distractions. But how do you know what to focus on? This right here is the master key, the Pareto principle. You've probably heard it called the 80-20 rule. The core idea is that in pretty much any area of life, a tiny fraction of your efforts, about 20%, produces the vast majority of your results, about 80%. Your job isn't to do everything. It's to find and become obsessed with that critical 20%. And this is how you put it into action. You have to ask yourself these questions. And that last one is just as important as the others. What are the 20% of activities or people that cause 80% of your stress and problems? You identify that stuff, and then you eliminate it, you delegate it, or you find a way to reduce it. This is how you reclaim your time and energy for what really moves the needle. Now, let's talk about how to make all of this stuff an actual daily reality. A powerful morning ritual is what Reklau calls a keystone habit. Think of it like the first domino, that once you push it, it makes all the other good habits fall into place way more easily for the rest of the day. And here it is, a simple but incredibly powerful 3-step morning routine. Number 1, wake up early. You want to take advantage of those quiet, focused hours before the world starts screaming for your attention. Number 2, prime your mind for positivity with gratitude. And number 3, this one is huge. Do your hardest, most uncomfortable task first. This creates a massive psychological win right at the start of your day that builds this unstoppable momentum. So, you see, when you bring all these pieces together, you start to see the bigger picture. The productivity revolution isn't about working more hours or finding clever little life hacks. It's a fundamental shift in your entire perspective, from being a victim of your circumstances to becoming the architect of your own life. And I absolutely love this quote from Reklau's work because it's just the simple, powerful truth, isn't it? Everything we've talked about, taking responsibility, practicing gratitude, focusing on the 20%, it's all common sense. But knowing it doesn't change anything. The revolution only happens when you actually act on it day in and day out. So, as we wrap this up, the power is now completely in your hands. The question isn't whether this framework works. We know it does. The real question is, what are you going to do with it? What is the one single, simple action you can commit to doing tomorrow morning to kickstart this change? Because that's what truly matters. If you found this valuable, please give it a like, subscribe for more deep dives, and share it with friends or family who are ready to upgrade their life. Thanks for watching.